begin a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wait, I forgot to get ready. Okay. Oops, sorry. There you go. Pull it, pull it, pull it. There we go.
That's it.
Woo! Yes! All right. All right. Somebody else. Come on. All right, here we go. Happy Pride!
Happy Pride! Well, good morning, everybody. Oh, my God. Oh, it is an amazing experience to be standing here with my fellow community leaders and kicking off Pride 2023 as the first drag laureate of San Francisco. And the world. So it is such an honor. San Francisco, you have made a choice to put a spotlight on the LGBTQ plus community at a crucial juncture by making me an ambassador to the world of drag arts. Now, yes, lawmakers are attacking the rights of LGBTQ individuals all over the country, while here in San Francisco, the Pride flag is proudly flown, and a drag laureate has been appointed to elevate and honor the accomplishments of our community.
Yes.
Now, as a San Francisco native, this means the world to me. I have watched San Francisco change and change again, but one thing has remained. San Francisco celebrates individuality. It applauds people marching to the beat of their own drum, and I would be hard-pressed to find another city or country or even anywhere in the globe where the LGBT community has as big of a voice as we do here in San Francisco. At this, the 53rd Annual SF Pride, a month that culminates in the largest gathering of LGBTQ people and allies in the nation, I want to take a moment and appreciate the flag we all associate with Gay Pride, which was designed by Gilbert Baker at request from the city's first openly gay supervisor, Harvey Milk, in 1978. That's a big deal. The theme of Pride this month is looking back and moving forward. It's essential that we acknowledge the past pioneers and iconoclasts of our communal history that have made it possible for me to stand here before you today and to continue to break new ground as we move forward. Drag is many things. Drag is art. Drag is activism. Drag is joy. Drag is instrumental to bringing people together. Drag is fabulous.
Yeah.
Now, I say this over and over, but it's worth reminding ourselves every day. If we can live a more authentic life, if we can walk through the world just a little more fabulous, we inspire other people to be a little more fabulous. And if everyone in the world was just a little more fabulous, there'd be that much less room in their heart and their mind for anger, hostility,
yes,
prejudice, and violence.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So here's the deal. You live a more fabulous life every day, and you have power for social change every day by being more fabulous. That is everyone's job here today. As your drag laureate, I am dedicated to continuing my life's mission to uplift my fellow members of the LGBTQIA+ community, spread joy throughout, and to help maintain a deeper understanding to the rich legacy of the LGBTQ+ trailblazers that made it possible for all of this to be happening. I will continue to celebrate and elevate the art of drag, and that is capital A-R-T. Both through my nightclub Oasis, through Oasis Arts, as well as my partnership with the City of San Francisco, the San Francisco Film Commission, and the Kenneth Rainham Foundation to create access and resources for my community. I'm excited to work with the City of San Francisco and the drag community to create a drag festival. Yes, we are going to work on creating a drag festival. Wouldn't you love to see all your supervisors in a drag contest? And the mayor, too. We'll give each of them a drag parent. Wouldn't you pay for that? Anyway, I want this festival to be fabulous entertainment. I would like it to include the drag story hour, bring all of it together, but also have an educational component to it, which is very important. I'd also like to work with the city and find some of our empty retail space and create opportunities for LGBTQ plus as well as drag entrepreneurs to have an opportunity to bring back some brick and mortar with sparkle, right, and fabulousness, and make it not only economically viable for the community, but a sense of excitement for tourism to come see your drag stores, right? I got lots I'm working on there. Okay, well, I got to wrap this up. I am thrilled to have the opportunity to participate in shaping the role of the Drag Laureate for myself and for generations to come, and hopefully this can be inspiration for folks around the country and around the globe, and to really appreciate what drag is. Somebody asked me the other day, why is drag important? And I said, why is theater important? Why is film important? Why is fine art important? Drag is art. Elevate, celebrate your drag artists, and San Francisco has done that at the forefront of anywhere in the United States. I am so proud to be part of this community. Please allow me to introduce another San Francisco native, a supporter of San Francisco's art and culture and its vulnerable communities, and someone who clearly recognizes the power of fabulous. Give it up for Mayor London Breed.
Thank you, Dorsey. And the job description, as many of you know, for our Drag Laureate is to be absolutely fabulous. And that's what Dorsey is, fabulous, amazing, and transformative. So I want to appreciate the work that I know you will continue to do to uplift the community as you serve in this capacity, and also look amazing in the process of doing it. So thank you all so much, and I want to acknowledge the official band of the City and County of San Francisco, the Lesbian Gay Freedom Band. Thank you so much. And I want to just say it feels good to be here today, and I realize because there are so many people that want to participate in this flag-raising ceremony is growing. So we're going to have to grow into probably another space after today so that we can ensure that there is room for everyone who wants to celebrate and uplift this extraordinary community. I want to just appreciate, I know you're going to hear from some of the elected officials today, but I really want to appreciate them for being here, starting with our Lieutenant Governor, Eleni Kounalakis, and I'm going to ask you to save your applause because I got to go down all the list of everyone. Our State Controller, Malia Cohen, our Supervisor, Rafael Mandelman, Supervisor Matt Dorsey, Supervisor Catherine Stephanie, Supervisor Myrna Melgar, and our Assessor Recorder, Joaquin Torres, and the members of the Sheriff Department. Thank you so much for being here. And we have our Treasurer, Jose Cisneros, our Senator Scott Wiener, and there any other elected leaders? Oh, yes. City Council member of El Cerrito, Carolyn Weisinger. Carmen Chu, Honey Mahogany, and a couple of other folks, which I don't know everyone's name, and there's a bunch of names on this list for the sake of getting this program going. Some of them are going to be speaking in just a moment. But thank you to the Pride Board and all the different folks who are here joining us in this wonderful celebration. Celebrities are in the house like Donna Sachet and Aria Saeed, and thank you so much to Tom Horn for your continued support and advocacy. I mean, everybody's here. If I didn't say your name, raise your hand. We have department heads, we have commissioners, we have people from all parts of San Francisco and all parts of the Bay Area, because San Francisco is definitely the place to be for celebration. And it is time that instead of being down on San Francisco and pushing back on San Francisco and talking mess about San Francisco, it's time to start celebrating why San Francisco is special and better than every other city. Because some of those same cities are still debating about whether or not they should raise the pride flag. Some of those same cities are debating whether or not they should even introduce a proclamation to officially declare it LGBTQ Pride Month in any city. Some of those same cities are still having the debates, and all over the country, over 500 new laws that are anti-LGBTQ. But they want to talk mess about San Francisco because here we're doing it. We're like Nike, we're just doing it. We're not talking about it. We're not debating it. We're not having conversation. We're investing in ending trans homelessness. We're investing in HIV/AIDS funding. We're investing in doing all the work necessary to support, uplift, and advance this community. People are talking about it, but not only did we invest $12 million to build a new LGBTQ museum, Supervisor Mandelman, Supervisor Scott Wiener pitched in another $5.5 million to make the dream a reality. So when someone says something about San Francisco, you ask them, what are they doing to promote and uplift and change the world for the LGBTQ community like San Francisco? There is no comparison. This month, during Pride Month, this is a celebration. Yes, there are problems. Yes, there are challenges. Yes, there are gonna always be things that we need to fight for. But it is finally time, after a global pandemic, after all the issues that we've been facing, it is time to start to feel good again. It is time to celebrate how far we've come. It is time to celebrate the work and the investments and everything that we are doing in San Francisco differently than we ever did before. It does not mean that we don't continue to fight tomorrow, but today we celebrate. We have joy, we have love in our hearts, we have appreciation. The next generation, they're watching San Francisco. They know that this is the place that they can come to get help, to get hope, and to get support. So that's what Pride represents for everyone around the world. So as we're out there during the parade, activities, events, the brunches, and all the other things, and of course, looking fabulous in the process, let us remember that and be grateful for the opportunity to be a part of what San Francisco represents, because we're very fortunate to do all the great work that we're doing here and to put and shine a spotlight on what we're doing, but more importantly, so that others know what's possible, and it helps to fight against the bigotry and the hatred and all the things that try to tear us down. We are San Francisco. We're like Nike. We just do it. Thank you. And with that, I want to introduce, to say a few words, our Lieutenant Governor, Eleni Kounalakis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to start by recognizing the world's first drag laureate, Dorsey. Congratulations. Thank you for your leadership and your absolutely beautiful words. And I think we can all agree that there is no greater fabulous leader for the mayor, for the city of San Francisco than our Mayor, London Breed. Thank you, Madam Mayor, for your fabulousness and your leadership every single day. So I think some of you know I've made San Francisco my home for more than 20 years, but I represent the entire state of California. And across our state this month, there will be parades, there will be celebrations, there will be incredible outpourings of culture and leadership, uplifting the fabulous LGBTQ community of the state of California. But I think we can also all agree that there is no place in the state, no place in the country, no place in the world that did it earlier or does it better in celebrating Pride Month than San Francisco, California. And so, as we are out there celebrating and marching together, let us not forget what we know, which is that every generation must fight this fight again. And we know in the country that there are elements who are trying to roll back the rights of Californians, and we are going to do everything we possibly can standing together and fight back and keep our rights for our people in this state. And I'd also like to recognize the incredible leadership of Scott Wiener up in Sacramento. Incredible at every level, but most importantly, in leading the fight to put on the ballot again, once and for all, the changing of the California Constitution to enshrine the right to marry who you want. Yes. And that is coming because of Senator Wiener. I'm very honored to be a co-sponsor of that legislation, but we're going to get it done. But more than anything else, with humility and pride and honor myself to stand under this dome with all of you as we begin Pride Month. It is a tremendous honor to be part of this community, which will always go forward and always lead in this state and in the world. Happy Pride, everyone. Do I introduce that? And with that, the fabulous Senator Scott Wiener. Scott.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. I think Pride feels a little bit different this year. For a very, very long time, Pride had become increasingly a celebration, which is great. To celebrate, to have parties, to have a really festive parade. Everyone wanted to be a part of it. We had more and more corporations getting involved. A lot of people, everyone wanted to be part of Pride, and that's great. But in the last few years, and I think it's really accelerating this year, we understand that we have to get back to Pride's roots, which is to fight for our community's survival. That's what Pride is about. And when we look what's happening now, we're Target removing a lot of the Pride paraphernalia or putting it in the back of the store because of bullying from right-wing extremists, or Anheuser-Busch pulling an ad with a trans woman after a backlash simply for including a trans woman. And so we see some of these corporations who have been allies to us, but when the pressure goes on, they fold like a cheap tent. And we need to send a very clear message that participating in Pride isn't just about being in a parade or having a party or putting on the rainbows. It's about being an ally to our community, not just when it's easy, but when it's hard. When it's hard. And being an ally to our community even when it's dangerous, because you know what? It's dangerous for us 365 days a year when you look at what is happening to our people, and particularly our LGBTQ youth around the country who are being pushed to suicide, who are being attacked, who are being told that they can't go to the bathroom or that they can't play sports. When you look at the two young trans women who just withdrew from the state track and field championships because they had been so severely harassed. Imagine that. Out of the 1,400 girls who were participating in the state track and field championships, 2 were trans, and that was 2 too many to the haters. And these young women got bullied out of even competing. That's what's happening, not just in this country, but in the state of California. And it means that we need to renew our commitment and get back to the roots of Pride, that we are fighting for our community's survival, and we are fighting to make sure that we thrive. They want us to go away, but we are not going anywhere. We are here to stay, and our kids are here to stay. So on Monday, we're going to have some fun in Sacramento. That's where our LGBTQ caucus, we have our Pride celebration in the Capitol. And we each get to pick, each member of our caucus gets to pick an honoree. My honoree, I nominated Sister Roma, the amazing Sister Roma. And you may have seen that caused a little bit of controversy, because there are some folks in the Catholic Church and my Republican colleagues who are not happy about honoring a Sister of Perpetual Indulgence in the Capitol. Well, guess what? She's going to be honored, and it's going to happen. And we're going to send a little bit of our San Francisco spirit up to the Capitol and proclaim to the world what this city is about, which is love and acceptance. So happy Pride, everyone.
And now to say a few words, the president of the board for SF Pride, Nguyen Pham. Come on up. I'm missing your last name.
It's no worries. Thank you, and greetings, Mayor Breed, Laureate Drollinger, and distinguished guests. My name is Nguyen Pham. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I'm honored to address you today as president of San Francisco Pride. As the city's largest event, SF Pride is widely regarded as one of the world's largest and most iconic annual celebrations of LGBTQ culture and heritage. What might be lesser known is that our small and mighty team of 12 volunteer board members and only 5 full-time paid staff works year-round to ensure the success of this most iconic parade and celebration every month of June in the greatest city in the world. We are proudly also one of the few remaining Pride events in the world being kept absolutely free and open to the public, ensuring that all who wish to share in the love and splendor of SF Pride can do so free of charge. And by the way, you can imagine how expensive it is to put on one of the world's largest free events. Donations are totally welcome. And we know that our march up Market Street and our festival at Civic Center serve as beacons of hope to those who see them near and far. This hope has grown increasingly important and necessary, especially in the context of the mounting attempts to oppress and erase our community. These maneuvers are coordinated and they are vicious. Nationwide, elected officials are actively authoring bills that target our art forms, our books, our history, and our healthcare. As San Franciscans, we are fortunate to live, work, and play in a city that largely protects and loudly celebrates our community. Yet, we are not a city without some healthy discord. It is not uncommon for some in our queer community to be at odds, for example, with civic leaders, with whose decisions we might disagree. For example, around the recent loss of our Black trans sibling, Banko Brown, may he rest in power. What we can unify around, though, is that our debates must empower our broader movement, which is to liberate queer people here and everywhere. So today, SF Pride invites all of you to join us as co-conspirators toward this positive liberatory change. Let's please provide love to one another and to ourselves and to our allies, because our love for ourselves and for each other is our resistance. Our resistance is our liberation. And our liberation is long overdue. It has been an honor to address you today. Thank you, and happy Pride Month. And it is now my pleasure to introduce you to the first person that I hired at SF Pride, my redheaded renegade herself, SF Pride's Executive Director, Suzanne Ford.
Thank you, Wynn. Mayor, Lieutenant Governor, supervisors, city department heads, city employees, and distinguished guests. And first of all, I'd like to say I see you, my trans siblings. And I want to acknowledge my privilege as a white trans woman to stand up here. And I'm standing up here because of people like Miss Major, Miss Janetta, Miss Billy Cooper. So thank you. Everyone here knows and feels that this pride is more important than ever. You've heard it from everyone up here. Our theme this year is looking back and moving forward. And make no mistake that moving forward will be quite difficult. We are facing things we have not faced in 20 or 30 years, especially the trans community. We're under attack. Our community, our city, and our way of living are under attack. It is especially painful for me to see this persecution aimed at trans children, families, and adults all over red states and here in other parts of California that are not our liberal cities. I was one of those closeted trans kids in the 70s. I grew up in Owensboro, Kentucky. I didn't dare disclose my identity because I was afraid. There are millions of those people now in red states looking at us with fear. And they wonder, is San Francisco still the kind of place that you can come and be who you are? And I'm here to say that we are that city. So given these circumstances, San Francisco Pride invites you to join us on Pride Weekend. Help us draw a visible line, a line in the sand that says you're either for human rights for everyone or you're for fear, hate, and bigotry. There is no middle of the road. There's no moderate position on human rights. If you march down Market Street with us this year, you're telling the world that here in San Francisco, you can be your whole self. You can love who you love in the most fabulous of ways. Really, everyone, we need all of you. I do need some money, Mayor. I'm looking for some cash. So I have the honor of introducing a supervisor to you, and I can tell you that he has been most gracious with a new executive director that has been in his office many times looking for cash. So please come up, Supervisor Mandelman.
I'll come out any day. I have a little bit of the same, I think, sentiment that the mayor had, which is like you get to an event like this and you look out at this crowd and there's like too many amazing people out there, up here, but out there. Executive directors of nonprofits doing amazing work, city staff, queer city staff and department heads who we are so proud of, and thank you, Madam Mayor, for all of your queer appointments. Tom Horn, thank you again for doing this year after year for us. We're so grateful. And yeah, drag is fun and fabulous and amazingly important in this year. And Dorsey, I'm so excited to follow your drag laureate-acy. There are, our senator who like with a smile and grace deals with a level of hate and vitriol directed against him, sometimes scary and violent and threats, doing the great work in Sacramento and dealing with some of these wackadoodles who are terrified of Sister Roma? Like, what is that? You're terrified of Dorsey, Drollinger? I mean, if you are terrified of them, you should be, because they are going to overwhelm your hatred. They're going to blow it out of the water. They're going to win. They're going to lead us to a better day, and that is why it is so wonderful that our mayor has decided that we're going to have a drag laureate. And the last thing that I will do, which I try to do every year at this thing, is say some nice things about the mayor at this event. Yeah, I do, because this is a mayor who has been committed to our queer community from before she was the mayor, but as mayor has consistently, and we are, she just released her budget, year after year after year, when you look at this mayor's budgets, you see new investments, yes, in queer culture and arts, but also in our vulnerable populations, in our elders, in hundreds of new units for queer elderly folks through Open House, and we're going to get that building one of these years, we hope. But the property's been bought, and thank you, Madam Mayor, for doing that. And investing in so many other services for vulnerable queer folks, and did it again this year. We talked a little bit about the hatred that has been directed at our state senator. Hatred has been directed at our kids too, and other queer organizations. And Laura from Lyric, thank you for the work that you do for our kids. But there's like bomb threats coming into queer organizations, and the mayor put into this year's budget, in addition to ending trans homelessness and investing in queer elders and investing in vulnerable queer populations, she put in some money to try and keep those organizations safer and deal with their public safety needs. So thank you for that, Madam Mayor, and happy Pride, everybody.
Well, thank you, Supervisor Mandelman. I appreciate that. And I just said, you went through the budget that fast? I also want to just acknowledge that Supervisor Shaman Walton and Supervisor Hillary Ronan were here earlier for the flag raising, but they had to leave. And at this time, I want to ask Supervisor Matt Dorsey to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks, everybody. You know, it's really important that the Pride theme be looking back and moving forward. And I'm just reminded that it was 21 years ago I worked on this side of the building in the city attorney's office as one of the two queer executive staff members, along with then Assistant City Attorney Terry Stewart, who is now a presiding justice of the appellate court. And one of the first cases that we had, I remember in 2003, was we won the final case that was challenging our domestic partnership equal benefits ordinance. And we couldn't have known that a year later, then Mayor Gavin Newsom would issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples. And we couldn't have known that it was going to lead to a legal battle that 4 years later would strike down discriminatory marriage laws in California. And we couldn't have known that just a few months later, that would be overturned by Prop 8. And we couldn't have known that the legal battle that proceeded from that would ultimately, 4 years after that, strike down Prop 8. And then 2 years after that, finally achieve marriage equality across the nation. But here's what we do know. When leadership happens on the cause of LGBTQ equality and protecting our community and advancing important things like a drag laureate and ending trans homelessness, what we do know is that leadership is always going to come from the city and county of San Francisco. And we can be incredibly proud of that. And happy Pride, everybody. It is just great and an honor to be here.
Thank you. And I just want to, at this time, acknowledge Patrick Carney and the work that he's doing with the Pink Triangle. The celebration is on the 17th of June at what time? 11 o'clock. Darcy, did you have something else? Or you? Okay. At 11 o'clock, so hopefully you'll join along with the Pride Brunch, and there's so many other great events and activities. And I also want to just acknowledge we have an amazing host committee and protocol office, and our new chief of protocol, Miriam Madroglu, and her team, Marone and Lispin, along with support from Tom Horn. They are the ones who helped to put this celebration together, and I want to thank our council generals from Mexico and Peru for joining us here today and being wonderful partners. And Norway? Oh, Japan, Norway. We have a bunch of our council generals here today joining us who will take a celebration like this and share this with places where they come from throughout the country and throughout the world. And so I'm looking forward to, as I said, celebrating Pride, uplifting the community. We have our state and local leaders, our department heads, our commissioners, our community advocates, our ambassadors. I mean, if you're not here, I don't know where you are. But the fact is, as I said, throughout the challenges, as Senator Wiener talked about, there has to be celebration too. And there has to be a moment to take a lot of pride in everything that so many of you have fought for, in some cases, like Donna, for generations. So we're glad to have leaders in the community here, and we're glad to officially now, as we raise the flag, as we celebrate, to officially declare it LGBTQ Pride Month in the city and county of San Francisco. And before we close out this wonderful ceremony, and I think we hopefully have some champagne and cookies and other things. I don't know if you guys noticed the flags with the decorations when you walk in. That was our arts commissioner, Ricardo, who is absolutely fabulous. And he wanted to do something really special. So we're going to open up the international room for all of you to enjoy one another's company and to take a moment to appreciate that. And before I move on, I just want to ask, because she did such an amazing job co-hosting Equity California's recent event, I want to ask our controller, Malia Cohen, to step up and say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. I commend you for sitting through so many speeches. So my remarks will be very brief. I say, let's raise a glass, let's celebrate, and remember those whose shoulders that we stand on, and happy Pride.
Yeah. All right, San Francisco, let's turn this city out. Thank you all so much for being here.